He's not an idiot. He's just Swedish.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
Heyo! And welcome. Finally Friday. Finally Friday. Oh, and for most of us, it's the end of the work week. For most of us, not for me. It's my work weekend, so in a few hours I will be in a car for a nice 4-hour ride to a newly completed factory a bit up north who needs a safety inspection. So that is where I am headed this weekend, and it's going to be so fun. But I haven't had a Finally Friday in a while, so when I went off work about 7 hours ago, went home, went to sleep, so I could do this with you all. And this is streamed on YouTube and Rumble. And where's my Rumble link? Hold on, so I can post that as well. Hold on. Dun. Copy. Rumble link. There. Oh, okay. And we already have folks here, and one is a neighbor of mine. So let's say hi to Broken Baker. Hi.
Good evening, Sweden.
Good evening.
This is Europe calling. Could I have the votes for
Luxembourg, 2 points.
All the Americans are sitting there thinking,
What?
Allemandie, 2 points. Good evening, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I've had a good rest before this.
Yeah, I thought I tried to do it, slept 30 minutes and was lying there for 2 hours thinking, go to bed, go to sleep.
Go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Yeah, I know how it is. We have another guest in the background here, and it's good to have him here because I have a funny subject. And, well, his name says it all. He is the expert.
The coolest man on the internet.
Hey!
Give me my own light show. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good. Now, that was tripping.
Well, it's Americans do go big or go home, right?
Yeah,
Man, I can't.
definitely. Oh, you have sunshine.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just a new concept for me.
Yeah. And here it's midnight. So yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Started.
How are you, beautiful Scandinavians, doing? Is Scandinavians? Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
But we don't see ourselves as Scandinavians. We see ourselves as Danes and Swedes.
Yeah, and
we fought a lot of wars to keep it that way.
Oh yeah, past 700 years we have been at war, about 400 of them.
I believe we are the two nations who have been at war the most in the world.
Yeah, with each other and others, and sometimes we're on the same side, but mostly we're not. And but the past 200, no, when was Roskilde?
16 something.
Yeah, but then we had some scuffles, and then we annexed Skåne. Yeah.
1658.
1658. Yeah.
Well, that's the last time y'all were in a war?
Yeah, with each other.
With each other. But then we have had wars on different directions, and yeah.
Like Columbus hadn't even set sail, had he? Yeah, that was
1492.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
We're
which
not allowed
was
to talk about him over here anymore.
yeah,
No.
just about 500 years after Leif Erikson went to Nova Scotia. Yeah, so we were first. But
Man, I could get lost.
yeah, speaking of, a few days ago or last week or something, I encountered something I thought was hilarious because it was so lame. And you all have seen the movie How to Train a Dragon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, there's going to be a live action movie. And here's one of the actors this is the actress who is going to play Astrid, and she has something really interesting to say. And Nico Parker, who will play Astrid in How to Train Your Dragon live action, confirms that the cast will be diverse, despite occurring in the Viking era in Scandinavia to move away from Viking stereotypes. And for me, there were some reactions online who were sent to me, and first of all, How to Train Your Dragon is a cartoon where they speak American accent, British accent, Scottish accent, and Irish accent. So you're kind of gone away from Viking stereotypes already. Then there's dragons, which, okay, we didn't have many of those. We have the serpent, one serpent.
Wait, y'all really had a dragon?
No, we didn't have a dragon. We had a serpent. Yeah,
We had the Midgard serpent.
yeah, the Midgard serpent who ate his own tail, who will rise from the waters on Ragnarok and stuff like that. And but so for me, what they are doing here is just create a non-existing controversy, because the cartoon, which was a good cartoon, full-length cartoon, was fun, but had nothing to do with Vikings, horned helms, different accents within a small village and stuff like that. So yeah, Valhalla, you have a link. I sent you one on Discord.
And if I could just, I like the people who like to make the controversy. Don't they know Scandinavian people?
No,
We don't care.
yeah,
They just made the Little Mermaid brown. Yeah, Hans Christian Andersen, who was born 43 kilometers from my house, he probably never saw a black person unless it was a servant. But we don't care. We don't. When I watched Geeks and Gamers and all of these people, everyone was ranting about it. We didn't mention it in Denmark.
No,
and we have the worst tourist attraction of the Little Mermaid. Everyone is disappointed after watching her. We don't care.
No, it's so the most people who cares are apparently in the USA. But I can't find not even in the Swedish racist news they are bringing this up. And those were often very on top of things like this. We are so offended. Yeah. Speaking of offended, here's David.
I am so offended. Hello.
Oh, you got the legs back.
I got the legs back. I got a little yellow Michigan. I'm working on everything else. I'm redesigning. Every time you see me, the background will probably be a little different. But hey.
Let's see if we can do it. No?
It's going to be diverse despite the Viking historical setting.
Yeah, and but Viking, we brought home people, both voluntarily and involuntarily, from Constantinople and probably beyond. We went to North Africa. We went to the actual North American continent. I mean, we're probably in itself the most welcoming people of all Scandinavians. If we take Scandinavians as one ethnicity, which both me and Baker might have objections to. But
Well, you guys are basically the same. All of Scandinavia is basically the same.
Can you kick him?
yeah,
Ooh.
expert kick David. And as you can hear, our accents are completely different. Just as an example.
And the funny thing is about all these everything is turning woke. Yeah, a lot of things are weird, but I like the people who get offended on us Scandinavians on our behalf, because we don't care.
No.
We
Yeah,
don't
well, that's
claim
That's like the guy that dresses up with like a sombrero and a mustache, and he walks around, and all the white people are like, "Oh, that's terribly offensive," and then he goes to like a Mexican village, and they're like, "No, I love your outfit."
Yeah.
You ever see that video of that guy? It's great.
Yeah, but I've been watching a lot of shorts on YouTube lately because my attention span is on that level at the moment. And some of these talk shows where they talk about woke and stuff like that, it's always people who doesn't have the ethnicity that are the most offended.
No, they feel bad for you.
Yeah. And I can say, and Baker already said this, when you try to go woke on Scandinavia, we are way ahead of you. Way ahead of you. We were diverse 2,000 years ago. I mean,
we weren't sharing our culture. We were bringing some of them back. We put them in huts and might have given them a little forcible love, but just don't put a half African Danish woman as a Norwegian jarl, because that's just historically inaccurate. That was something that made people angry, because that's just too stupid. And sorry, not to get political.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, you don't want
anything,
to
but
put not a Dane portraying a Norwegian. That's offensive.
Yeah,
that's really offensive.
Because Norwegians,
they're weird.
Yeah,
they have been weird for 2,000 years. Hi. Oh, hi.
You guys have no idea how awesome this conversation is for me, because you're discussing a part of the world I know very little about, and this is daily life for y'all, and it's something that it's hearing about your daily life, and then also this part of the world, and it's I don't know. I don't want to use the word overwhelming, but it's so impressive, and I appreciate this conversation.
Yeah, no worries.
And that's what I love about this YouTube community. We share a lot, because when I do trials stuff and I hear about Stop and Shop and Red Robin and all, I'm saying, what the hell is that? And then you maybe see something which in Scandinavia you would get thrown in prison for, beating a child or forcefully grabbing your child is technically illegal in Denmark. Even if it's running out in the street, you will probably not be convicted, but it's against the law, because we can't we don't have the right to spank our children.
You guys don't spank kids?
We're not allowed to. We lost the right for that back in I think Denmark took it away in 86 or
that's like 25% of the reason to have a kid.
Yeah,
spank them.
Yeah, it was a big discussion back in the day, and because at the time there was also allowed for teachers to spank.
Yeah,
and they often used a ruler and stuff like that. So
big old paddle with holes in it.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're good.
Dave's back.
My dog has figured out how to open the door from the inside now and let himself out, but he also lets out a bunch of other animals that aren't supposed to be out. And he used to do it just getting in. Like if you left him out, he figured out how to get in. Now he figures out how to get out. So he just lets himself in and out.
Yeah, that could be decent. Okay, go out. I will pick up later.
Yeah. If he
Dang,
knew how to
that looked
close
like
the
you had
door
one of
behind
those-
him, would be good.
Were you drinking that drink that Baker had the other day?
What am I drinking
Supposed to
now?
be full of testosterone. It's like
No.
man drink or something.
No, the man
The
juice.
man juice? No.
Yeah, I can't find that. I looked for it, and all they had was Dr. Pepper. I couldn't find the man juice.
It's
I
close
didn't know if
enough
it was
for man juice.
in a
By the
different
way,
language
expert, I gotta say,
yes,
you
sir.
tweeted at me about the Bucky's Cola.
Yeah,
You're like, you gotta try it. It's awesome. It's like Coke, but it's got real sugar cane in it and stuff. I'm like, okay, I'll try it. I hate fountain drinks, by the way. That was
odd to me.
damn good.
It's
That was
amazing, isn't it?
real good.
So
I kind of want to send out just for Bucky's Cola.
I would love to be able to, and but I have a blue tick coonhound. So let me give me 1 second here.
There's always a dog on the street. When we don't have a coffer in court, Jamie's dog or expert's dog is just yapping in the background.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I heard
it's-
my dog, and that's why I was like, what in the world? Because I know I closed the door, and I was looking, and sure enough, he was out, and I was like, well, maybe he'll just go. And then I saw the cat, not my cat, that was out, and I was like, now I got to go deal with it.
Oh, that's great living in the country and only have one couch who lets himself in and out and brings
Whoever it
presents
was,
back in.
the hounds of the Baskervilles over here scared him off. So one, I'm amazed that you're not a fountain drink person.
I usually
I've
don't
never
like
heard
pop,
of it.
but I have a bunch of Sprite left over from my daughter's graduation party, so I've been drinking it. But normally I am an iced tea or a coffee guy, and that's it.
I got a gallon of iced tea today and switched over to Dr. Pepper. It's weird. But well, okay, so like McDonald's, like their Coke is known for being better than other places.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't eat at McDonald's, so I don't know.
Of course you don't. You're the perfect human.
I wouldn't say that.
Okay, so
I just
let's
don't
go to Bucky's. So I go to Bucky's for the first time just like a month before you. And you have all the fountain drinks up there, and I'm like, I don't know what these are. They're Bucky brand. I'm like, but the only thing they serve that is not Bucky brand is Dr. Pepper, because Dr. Pepper in Texas, that whole thing. So I got Dr. Pepper, and while I'm filling up my cup, I'm looking over there. I'm like, that says pure cane sugar. Oh man. And their root beer is the same way, and I haven't had the root beer yet, because last time I was filling up my Bucky Cola, I looked over, I saw root beer. I was like, this is pure cane sugar. So for y'all that are in a different country, that's a gift. That's a treat for an American. We have corn syrup.
in most
and
of
it's
our
icky.
stuff. It's
Oh.
yeah, it's gross. Like if I was to look at this Sprite right now, I guarantee it says corn syrup.
Yeah.
Yeah, carbonated water, first ingredient. Second ingredient, high fructose corn syrup.
Mm.
But it's made from corn, so it's natural and healthy.
Yeah. And just a forewarning, YouTube has apparently been starting to roll out ads on live streams, and I can't do anything about it. So if you have one, my apologies. And
I
yeah,
haven't seen any ads. Well, I have premium or whatever,
YouTube
so I don't
Premium,
get
yeah.
the ads.
yeah. Well, if you have premium, you don't see it. So
Well, I'll just have to go incognito. Let me see here. Wait, how do I do that again? I forget how to do that.
Half Irish. I know tons of migraine sufferers who swear McDonald's Coke helps. I'm going to have to. The White Rabbit has migraines. So if.
okay, I didn't know that. But we do have this with. It doesn't work anymore, but back in the day, the old Coca-Cola, if you just got rid of the carbonization, it was good for an upset stomach.
Yeah. Yeah,
We
it's,
used to do that a lot as kids. If you got upset stomach, you would drink like ginger ale or
Okay.
Coke, but a lot of ginger ale, especially Canadian dry. Okay, so now I'm incognito, and let me see if any ads pop up.
Yeah, but so I'm actually thinking of, because I have this, I can choose to insert myself, and the longest frequency is every 30 minutes. So I'm thinking about if YouTube is going there anyways, then they will put it in somewhere where it's not wanted. So I might as well do that or something of the sort.
You know, I'm surprised it didn't pop up with an ad right when I went to your channel.
Okay.
It didn't do that. It just played it straight up. I'm incognito. Yes.
Okay. Well,
I can.
Well, sorry. Yeah. Oh, the Sal had an ad. Okay. So, and that was after less than 20 minutes, I guess. So I might as well put that every 30 minutes so it's not as disruptive. But I also saw that when they were explaining this, that Mr. Beast, if he is doing a 60-minute video, he puts in ad every 3 to 4 minutes. And I mean,
Then you can just watch television.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really annoying.
Yeah, I mean, if I get one every, if I'm watching, now I have premium, but before I had premium, if it was every 15 minutes, I was okay. But then all of a sudden I was watching one of the YouTubers I no longer watch because of this, and it was virtually every 5 minutes. And then no, I can't do this, and non-skippable ads. And then it's, no, F you, bye-bye. Hey, Solomon. Oh, yeah, next Friday, there's going to be Chat-Faced for Charity Part 2. And, yeah, so buckle up for next Friday.
I'm trying to do too much here.
But we were talking about Vikings, and I don't know if you've heard it about the Delphi case, that the defense has found out, Odinists.
Odinist.
And
Heathens.
It is, and they have receipts for it from the crime scene photos, from crime scene descriptions, that there are actual runes, both laid out on top of the girls and written in blood on a tree. So all of a sudden, okay. So, and I spoke with Mo, because Mo, it's about, I don't know, a couple of hours from where Mo is situated. So she's been following this from the start, and she's mad because this is the first anyone have ever heard about there being runes on the site. And these are who the defense are claiming is something called the Odin Brotherhood.
Which is basically all of Swedes.
No. Yeah,
Scandinavian
of Scandinavian heritage around that part of the United States. But the Odin Brotherhood claims that it's a secret society. Well, not anymore, and it never was. Started in a village in 1451, which is a no, absolutely. It was founded by Mark Mirabello in 1992. I mean, and it's filled with complete garbage. But if you don't have the basic understanding of Scandinavian folklore and stuff, I can see why you are fooled by that kind, because they are mixing in stuff that actually was in the old Asa faith and stuff that definitely wasn't.
The expert, do you ever read comic books like Thor and all that?
Yeah.
I picked up a book that's the historical record of the Odin story, in Loki and Thor and all that from mythology. Just to see what the stories were and what it was all about. It reads like a freaking comic book. Yeah. They stole that stuff directly from the actual like texts that were handed down in the myth. But it's awesome. I kind of want it to be real. I hope it is.
And
Dude, you're gonna have to tell me what book that is. Maybe I'll read it before Gosney's book.
All right.
You missed that. He scolded me the other day, by the way.
Ghazni did for what?
Not reading his book.
I haven't read it yet either. He sent it to me, and then I lost it, and he sent it to me again. But then I went out of town for 3 weeks, and I forgot to download it again. Don't tell him.
yeah, most of what we know about old that old Viking faith or what is from the Eddas. You have the poetic Eddas and the prose Edda, and Elder Edda and prose Edda, also known. Thank you, Salman. And
So the only thing, I mean, honestly, I hate to say it, I am so like I have the loose understanding. I used to really like the Greek god stuff. I guess because of what was the movie Clash of the Titans. I always thought that was cool. And then if it learned that the Roman gods were taken from the Greeks, and then but never got into the is this the one to get it?
This is Nordic gods and heroes fables.
Yeah.
And these are all about the guy who people know from the Vikings show, Ragnar Lodbrok, how he had his queen and killed the snake. We didn't have dragons. We have a lot of snakes. We didn't kill dragons to save the maiden. We used snakes.
Yeah.
Do I need to watch that Viking show? Because I kind of was on the cusp of I don't know if I want to invest the time in it or.
The first couple of seasons were okay, but when the Suns took over, it became really bad. But
I couldn't get into it.
The Aesir fate is growing in the Nordic countries again. So I don't get why they would have had a religion from 14 something because none of us did.
Yeah, there were remains in the 13th century, but then it was more or less gone until the mid 1900s, and all of a sudden it popped up again. And mostly because, a certain Austrian dictator had a thing for Vikings or Aryan and stuff like that.
But why?
And,
why ever?
Because it's a big myth in our countries, and when we hit I don't know if you call it the same, but we have an art direction
Sal is here again.
Hey Sal, that goes by the name of the Romantic period, because we lost a lot of the Danish country, so we turned inwards and said, "Oh, we were great once," and went back to talking about the Vikings, and all the Icelandic sagas were more or less mandatory reading, and then it became something in our culture. With you talked about the comic books. When I grew up, we had comic books about the northern hero and gods that you could buy, and we had one of the first really good Danish produced cartoons is one called Quark, about when Thor had to go to the Jætter, the trolls, to get his hammer back because they had stolen it. It was I remember that's back in the 80s or something, but it's becoming more and more. I have a few friends who believe in the old Nordic gods now and do the sacrifices and stuff like that.
If you want to pull up the screen I shared, this is the book that I read that I really find. My sound is weird.
Okay, Robin just had a live ad. Okay,
Mess had one too.
I don't know if
Mike's Hard Lemonade. That's what the commercial for.
Wow. I know it's for Viagra.
Nick,
I have no. Yeah. Yeah. Old Line Red. 7 minutes for Old Line Red. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why. Hope it doesn't have anything to do with church history.
They're both hard. The ads are based off what we talk about, supposedly.
Are they really? I don't find that to be true.
That's awkward.
They say a lot of things I don't think are true.
Mm.
Why is it dark in here? I guess not.
But
Not as bad as I thought.
one of the things that about the Delphi case that about this Odin Brotherhood is that the runes that they use are the rune for what was it now? Hold on. The rune that can translate to Odin, but that is in Elder Futhark. But then they use another rune. One of the runes that was laid on top of one of the girls is from the younger Futhark. So they are off by about 500 years between those runes. So that's interesting tell that this is made up on the spot. And I think I have that one about...
I have 2 runes here by symbolizing my daughters, and my tattoo artist is a university-educated historian. So she said you have, I think we have 5 or something different runic.
Yeah.
But so she went with the one we have on the National Museum as the official one.
Yeah, and then you have a really localized one like the Hälsingland runes that looks nothing like ordinary runes. And then it got simplified, and then you have the medieval that showed up with, somebody tried to explain it was so much crap. But here is the invention of the Odin Brotherhood. Hold on. Odin Brotherhood paradigm was invented in 1992 via the publication of the book The Odin Brotherhood by Dr. Mark Mirabello, who is a professor of European history at Shawnee State University. And Mark Mirabello is an interesting guy. Let's see if we can find... Because Mark Mirabello, you would imagine that the founder of... that the founder of a new Viking era, Viking stuff, that he would look the part. Look.
He has a soft chin.
He doesn't look like Valhalla.
Look at this genetically superior specimen.
Oh boy.
He looks
can't
a
even
little bit
begin to
like
compete.
Salvador.
How'd you know that was my dad?
Can you go back to the page you were on before the Wikipedia?
Why does he have double D? Like, and is he playing pocket pool?
This one.
Yeah. The gentleman who calls himself Lordur's friend. Lordur is the god who created the first humans, and is never mentioned again. Why? In honor of the mysterious god.
He used the milk of an ox, right, to create humans.
No, it's kind of Odin and Ville and V, his brothers. They kill Ymer and make the world out of his bones and body. And the cow licks a stone, and out of that came the first trolls, I believe.
Trolls?
Yeah.
Trolls lived in the forest where I rode the horses.
Yeah, and the reason I believe why they used Loder is because that is never mentioned again. So you can insert a lot of crap to that god because you can't refute it. So that is probably why he used that one. And this was when he was a doctoral student, so what might be in the mid-20s when he went. So I think this is a page from the L. Ron Hubbard How to Create a Religion 101. And this had some traction, I guess, because sadly a lot of the white supremacists that do exist have this with we need to find a reason why we are genetically superior. So how about some inbreeding? And
As one does.
as one
Their
does,
superiority.
yeah. The Habsburg
at them.
yaw is a prime example of genetic engineering, and so it's and apparently this is what happened in the Delphi case. That a bunch of people who believe they are direct ancestors of old Vikings. Nobody is. There's not a clean branch of Vikings to be found.
So their family tree is like a. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I can trace my family back to the 12th century, but
Jeez, really?
That is church books and nobility.
Wait, you're related to like nobility?
Yeah, somewhat, but quite a weak one. So I'm very glad that some strength came into the family tree at one point.
So you're not like a peasant?
No, no.
Well, we're all kind of peasants.
Yeah, we are all kind of.
That was my grandma's favorite insult. She's German. She just called it a peasant.
Nick, if you can present my screen, this is what we grew up with.
Wasn't their favorite insult.
And then go rob the other nursing.
Look at the name of this book.
Valhalla.
Hmm?
He has his own book.
And it's a children's book, I'll be happy to point out.
Yeah. And it's a really great way to learn about the Nordic myth if you're trying to teach it to the kids. It's kind of scary sometimes, but it's kind of true to the sagas, but in a good way. They make a lot of fun, and it's very Danish. And look at Thor. He doesn't have long blonde hair and speaks with an Australian accent.
No. Yeah.
Is this on Amazon?
I just pulled up.
Everything's on Amazon.
I put a link in the private chat to the book that I was reading. The Expert.
No, the Eddas wasn't collected until the priest came to Iceland in 1200.
Yeah, something like that. And then he wrote the down.
But if you read the sagas or the Eddas, most of it is one thing is for sure. It's always a woman who did something wrong, and that's why they had to go and kill someone in the next town. Most of them
it's always a woman.
Always.
Johnny was out riding, and his horse went limp because a woman had crossed the street. So we kill her family.
There's a kerfuffle between Valhalla and Wilhammer. Be nice. Wilhammer created. Wilhammer does magic with the chord sound. Absolutely, he uses magic. He says he's audit.
He's an audio engineer in real life.
Engineer. I say it's magic.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Because
I can do video. I don't know how to do audio.
Yeah.
And he just finished doing the Zachariah Anderson trial.
Yeah.
Did he get it all up? I didn't know if he got it all up.
He said it was rendering, I think, last night. So probably.
Cool. I'm going to do a stream on Monday. No, not Monday. The 29th, which is Exoneration
Thursday.
Day or whatever. Yeah. And but then I think what I'm going to do is a 1-year anniversary kind of stream of Zachariah Anderson case coming up in a few months.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and I think that on the 2nd or 3rd of October is the wrongfully convicted day.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I'm doing it kind of for that.
They get a
stream I'm
day.
doing. Yeah, they get a day.
One day. Yeah, But
we have
get
Lego
months.
stream next weekend. We do have Lego stream next weekend.
Okay.
What day is that?
Yeah. And Baker, where's Lego from?
It's from Billund in Denmark.
Yeah.
Really?
I flew out of that a couple of weeks ago. So that's a big Danish success.
So
I
I
think
can
we're doing
blame
it
you.
the
when I step
30th
on 'em?
Saturday. We're doing a Lego stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, Legoland. I need to go there again. I haven't been there since the 90s. And my brother works for Lego, so I should go visit him.
Yeah, do you
bring
get the
him to
family
was-
discount?
I was promised free Legos.
I'm pretty sure I'm. Did I say that on the ferry, or did you hear it
Oh,
on the
boy.
ferry? I should ask.
I don't know. I
From-
just remember being promised free Legos. Never materialized. I have to buy all mine.
It's usually how you yeah.
I was
That
going
way
there
every
too.
time.
Wait, what would that be? That would be in the inducement, not in the act, or something like that. I can't remember how Kurt described it.
It's so that Optimus Prime Lego, it transforms. I heard.
The Optimus Prime one transforms. Yeah,
that's
but it
what,
doesn't have a
does.
trailer. I wanted a trailer.
Well, maybe
I'm
next
gonna
Christmas.
have to build a trailer.
Maybe next year, something.
No, I don't want to buy. I'm trying to.
So how does the because I haven't read the memorandum in support of this. It's like 136 pages, where the
a
defense
lot.
is saying the Delphi that is the Odinist that did this. Like, what's the? How do they make that connection?
First, there are the crime scene, which was never released to the public,
Yeah,
with certain runes, the Odin rune drawn in blood on a tree nearby.
Was it
And,
Discovery? They found this out.
well, it was through Discovery, but the state kind of sat on it for 6 years.
Okay.
Before the defense could actually get a hold of it.
Wait, this case is 6 years old.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, man.
2017.
I thought this was a recent thing. I didn't realize it was.
No,
No,
it's
it was
crazy.
unsolved for like 5 years.
The kids
Well,
were found dead 2017. The guy, Mr. Allen, was arrested in 2019, and no trial. And now in 2023, finally, through a massive investigation, the defense put out their theory of what actually happened, and they bring receipts. And one of them is apparently one of the people they point the finger at, which they want a frank hearing about. Just in the days before anything was released to the public, apparently on his Facebook page, he had drawn up almost a speeding image of the crime scene. And he is one of these Odinites.
The boyfriend of the girl, the 18-year-old, or
the girls were 12 and 13, and the
Yeah, but-
13-year-old dated this guy's son.
okay, yeah, but the guy was, I
And-
think, 18.
But
Oh.
but there's hold on. You're talking about not the guy who's arrested, but the there's a
Correct.
third
The
party
guy
guy,
they-
right?
The guy they pointing fingers at.
Alan. Is that his name?
Alan is the one who is arrested, but the guy, I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
I
there's
wish Mo
another
was on.
dude. He was like supposed to be a pedophile, and like there's like a whole like Vegas
Yeah,
thing
there's-
involved. It's huge.
The motion or memo they put out is 136 pages long, and it's filled with receipts for this. And
And
it
it's
is
organized very well.
Yeah. And one of the things, let's see here.
Won't y'all have a link to that by chance? I'd like to check it out.
I will. Hopefully, I
You,
can.
Nick, you and Mo were streaming about it the other day, weren't you?
Yeah, we had a few streams this week, but next week, next week, I am having a few days off. So I will do a 4-part series: the crime, the arrest, a four part, so everybody can get caught up, and hopefully I will have Mo on, because she has been following this since 2017, since she's local. And another thing about this, I'm going to show you two drawings of suspects or people that were seen at the scene. The picture on the right is the first one. 2 years later, the second one. And do these people look like the same person?
Well, if you have 6 years that pass, right?
No, this is 2 years apart from two different witnesses who saw people looking like this at or around the crime scene. Now, apparently, these have some similarities to the guy they are pointing the finger at and his son. But they still arrested another guy. And
Who went in to voluntarily talk to the police because he was in the area that day.
Yeah, he phoned it in. It said, I was at the area at the time. I don't know if I saw anything, but if you can contact me, go right
ask me
ahead.
some questions.
And
What can go wrong?
then he called it in, or more or less on the days after they found the girls. And then they sat on this for 2 years, and all of a sudden, the state had a search warrant drawn up and everything, and they arrested this guy out of the blue. And Mo can tell you, if you go to her stream about this search warrant, it is, even at the time, she believed this is bad. Not bad for the guy, but bad overall. And in this memo, they destroy it because the chief investigator made stuff up he knew wasn't true in that search warrant.
And
it was 26 days before an election, by the way. Yeah, of course.
And this guy is like being in solitary confinement. He's in prison, not jail, by the way.
Yeah.
So his family is further away from him. His lawyers are further away from him.
Yeah.
He is a shell of a man. He is broken. And there's a lot of allegations about jail or prison guards like being involved in this Odinite thing, torturing him and tormenting him.
Yeah. Two of his prison guards, are confessed Odinites. They have patches on them, "In Odin we trust."
And they had to get a restraining order.
Is that been confirmed, or was that just alleged in the motion?
Confirmed. They have receipts with the these people with the patches on their uniform in prison, and through their Facebook pages, because apparently they are very vocal about their beliefs.
This is like a MCU Thor patch or something. I have one of those.
No, it is. I don't have the memo up, but it looks like a biker gang patch. In Odin we trust, and then the rune
had to his lawyers had to get a restraining order against these two guards for recording their private lawyer-client conversations and filming them.
Yeah. So prison guards were trying to film the attorney-client
communications.
So that will be interesting to see what will go on, what will happen, because, I mean, if you think that the Murdoch thing was beyond belief, this is, but as soon as I heard it, it was, this is a stretch. But this 136-page memo, if it turns out it's all made up, these lawyers won't have a law license. They are risking everything with this. And these are public defenders, but they are taking this pro bono. They are doing all the extra work, more or less. And they had to keep it secret from Mr. Allen, the defendant.
Yeah, because the guy's going and talking to his wife and saying he did it, I think, in jailhouse calls. The guy is not there. He's not sane.
No. He's in solitary 23 hours a day and has been for the past 4 years. Yeah. This is...
At least Murdaugh was guilty of financial crime. I mean, I don't like it,
Mm.
but he's going to prison for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
But I mean, this guy, as far as we know, he's innocent and he's never...
No
done
criminal
anything wrong.
record. I mean, he barely has a parking ticket.
Yeah.
And
And
you're
you're
telling
telling
you
me
guys
like
right now,
50...
you better be real careful about calling him innocent. Because
Well,
you're gonna have a lot of people coming around telling you you're crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Well, he's
I-
innocent right
Well,
now.
he is right now.
Well,
He is
yeah,
absolutely
but I mean,
innocent.
But
yeah,
I mean,
but I'm
okay,
just
if they-
saying it's because I covered this a year ago whenever it happened, and yeah, true crimers, man, they're convinced they got the
Oh,
dude, and I mean it's all sorts
Well,
of
they're
weird stuff
convinced
to
of
it.
all kinds of stuff.
Well, you didn't want to go to True Crime or Crime Con in Florida this weekend?
Hey, I got to jump off.
worries.
Go have
Mm.
dinner with my wife, but I'll be back. You'll be going for a
Lame.
bit, right?
Yeah, I mean, at least another hour. I mean, I have... I'm
do you guys think
going
of
on
my
a
new
road
background?
trip in a few hours. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I like the
heard.
legs.
Yeah, of course you like the legs.
The rest of it, I don't care.
Thanks, Sal.
I want you to
it's
turn
weird. It's good.
UV light on.
What?
I
You'll
want you
see
to do a
stains
UV
from me.
light.
You want me to turn my UV light on?
Yeah. I want to see what the background looks like. See if you got like secret plans or something. And clear crayon.
Yeah, all the driplets of something will show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's blood. It's blood.
Bellhammer
visited.
likes it, so I'm gonna stick with it. All right, guys, I'll be back.
Sit back.
Later.
See ya.
Yeah, see ya. And yeah, it
Oh,
said
yeah, so-
it said that they are threatening his family. I mean, there are so much. Yeah. I mean, it's almost beyond belief, even when you have it in writing before you. And knowing what the crime scene photos look like, I haven't seen the actual crime scene photos, but the what do you call it? The diagram, and it's visually visible shown. Okay, that's a rune made out of sticks. How can you avoid that as a criminal investigation in a criminal investigation?
Seems kind of important, unless the police are in on it.
Yeah.
No. It's a rabbit hole, man. If you start going back from the beginning, it's some wild stuff. Man, I mean, I didn't know how much like y'all know Texas Jen. She was on that stuff early on. I didn't even know who Delphi was or anything. And she started going into like, oh my gosh, it's like this. She starts naming off the characters and stuff. It's like the police sketches there you're showing. There's one of them that's supposed to be this one guy who, again, he went to like Las Vegas. He had stuff. He has like a link to like a whole like pedophile ring and stuff. It's a weird thing. And this guy who they arrested, Alan, y'all saw the pictures of him in the bar, right, with the wanted poster. Like one of those sketches are behind him. Or at like the bar he and his wife used to go to. Yeah, it's so weird. It's
yeah, but I mean, in Indiana, sorry, he's a bald guy with a goatee. I mean,
a lot of people.
it's not that there's quite a few of them, and in the motion they say this guy is 5'4" and used to weigh my weight, so he was more or less a sphere.
Yeah.
And one of them, one in the motion that they argue that the state has to claim that he did all of this by himself, including going through 3 feet or 3.5 feet of water, cold water in this was around Valentine's Day, controlling two girls.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Well, supposedly he had a gun. That was the thing.
Yeah, but here's the thing with the gun, because also in the motion they say that they have on the crime scene pictures there was a bullet in in between the girls, but not even the bullet guy, the tool mark guy, couldn't say if it was or wasn't from this guy's gun, apparently. And
that type of science is
and it was found when that bullet was found. There was pictures of it on the ground, but there's nothing with this angle, so no measurements. There's no pictures of anything. Okay, here I am putting it into an envelope. Here I'm doing, but all of a sudden it shows up in the crime scene lab, and so
everything was supposed to be locked down or whatever, according to them.
Yeah, so there's so much strange things going on, and it seems to be not only.
Oh, trust me. Like I go into it as the devil's advocate, and I was like, "Well, the guy's innocent." And I was like, it's bizarre how much stuff and how much people know about this stuff and everything, and you're like, I can't argue it because I don't care. I mean, it's just there's too much going on, and you have to hope that he has good enough attorneys to for discovery and stuff. I think this thing with the occult deal, though, that's going to really, it's going to mess some people up thinking about that, because there's a lot of people that believe there's a huge occult problem in America that's causing all this stuff.
Yeah,
I dismissed it at first, but I mean, it's just
there are too many receipts in that memo to ignore as just a wild conspiracy.
Yeah.
Because this group of people, the Odinites, are real. And apparently they have quite a following in the States. And and this way the human sacrifice angle, even back in the day, during the Asa faith, human sacrifice was extremely rare.
Sure.
And more often it was volunteers, because they needed some luck or they needed a favor, and sometimes it was an aging warrior who could not fight anymore, but in order for him to get to Valhalla, he had to die in battle or as a sacrifice.
Interesting.
Or you sacrificed yourself or maybe a family member, but not random girls. I mean, yeah.
But again, it's with all these religion groups and cults and stuff. They pick and choose and wishy-wash whatever, and with the heavy metal scare and the Dungeon and Dragon scares and horror movie scares and all this stuff, there's always someone ready to see, oh, if you do stuff like that, because inherently it's the same. I'm covering a bit of the Ruby Frankie case, and that's Mormons. No, that's a person who is a member of the Mormon church. It's not because she is a Mormon. It's the same with this. If you believe in Odin, it's becoming more and more common in Denmark. But again, they do what's called blod, where you sacrifice to the gods and have big parties. Most of it is you spill some blood, eat the animal that you spilled the blood from, and then you get drunk, really drunk, and hopefully naked.
Yeah, most Scandinavian religious rites is about getting drunk and naked. And
so how do they connect this to the girls? Like how did they find these chicks? How did they find the two little girls?
Well, apparently it goes back to the guy they are now, the defense is pointing the finger at. And because his son dated one of the girls. And maybe it was a breakup, maybe it was something else. I don't know. But there is a connection between the girls and the guy they are pointing the finger at.
I thought they were there to meet a Instagram hookup. Like there's a fake Instagram page, and this guy was they're using it. It's all part of like I don't know. They're trying to recruit kids and stuff. It's it's like the little fat guy. He had like a hot model looking guy on his Instagram.
I'm not.
I don't know. I don't remember this. It's been a long time. Like since they got Alan, like I kind of like just quit paying attention to it because immediately I said was that there's no way you can get the casing and say that's the exact same gun and everything else. And but anyway, I said that, and it's just like people don't.
Yeah, no, I agree. Once they and then go down the slope video. And the guy, it kind of resembles him, but then again, it's a guy with a goatee in Indiana.
Yeah.
And apparently there's more than one. And that other one is the one the defense is pointing the finger at. Yeah. So whatever happens...
that video's creepy.
Yeah, it's really creepy.
And I don't know if that's something else. Like, I think it was maybe like... I think Rittenhouse really kind of changed things for a lot of people. I know it did for me because of the camera footage stuff. You know, I always was I remember asking when I was in law school, I was like, okay, we've gone from film cameras, right? That's what all of our rules of evidence are based off of. So now we got digital. And it was just kind of blown. Like, well, if the image matches what the witness says, then that's good. Well, then you get to Rittenhouse and it's, we got this FBI footage, you know, and it's like, whoa, what's happening here? And so, it's odd, right?
The crazy thing is like in the Curtis Reeves trial, they argued it, that same thing about like the blowing the image up, enhancing it, having to do it forensically sound. A lot of other lawyers looked to the Rittenhouse trial and the arguments behind it to kind of shape going forward.
Yeah,
well, it's like because of that, like it's because they did the sound enhanced of the guy on the bridge, and it's like it supposedly says down the hill. Well, it just gave me a cold chill. But I don't know. I've always wondered like what how much of that's
and also in the legit and also in the depth we heard trial with the doctor, the photos, and. So all of a sudden, things start to surface that maybe you can't just trust a photo or a video. You need the metadata. You need an actual expert testifying to it, and stuff like that.
And now we have AI photos and creating voices of like celebrities and anyone that it gets enough information for.
Oh, and thank you, Dirk, for gifting one membership. That's very nice of you. Thank you so much. And it was Danny T who got it. And Wendy H earlier, member for 5 months. It's raining men tonight. Okay, good for you.
I think she means us.
Okay, yeah. I have invited women, but I
scared them off.
Yeah.
No, you're not the problem because they know you don't like women.
Smart ass.
Sal only likes women who are in prison. And,
yeah, but that's so convenient. It's like the girlfriend from Canada. Oh, can we meet her? No, she's from Canada and she can't. She had to go back from school and now, hey, Sal, where's your girlfriend? Oh, this sweet girl Jody. We're really hitting it off. Oh, can we meet her? No, she's in prison for life.
Yeah,
it's so convenient, Sal, and still you troll the bars with the Blue Oyster Club. You're probably too young to know that reference.
That's Don't Kill the Reaper, right?
No,
that's Police Academy.
Police Academy. The Blue Oyster Bar.
Oh,
Police Academy. Yeah.
Good movie.
And I saw what was there, Paradise Lost documentary. Yeah, the Satanic Panic, and the guys are, well, in order to get out of prison, he confessed, and he made it's a specific kind of
Yeah.
admittance, and
You admit you're guilty, but the prosecution will let you get out of jail.
yeah,
So you can't sue them. The West Memphis 3, I think it was, did
Yeah.
that basically.
Mm.
Which is
And,
so screwed up, but
yeah. And all these just reminds me how many murders are never caught because the prosecution is desperate to find someone to prosecute and then make the evidence fit the person instead of
Like,
the other
yeah.
way around.
or just want to solve it and don't care if somebody innocent is caught up, like, you know, somebody's brother in the chat.
Mm.
Yeah, and I'm going through the Cara Rentala case where every day, the more evidence the state provides, the more I'm convinced she's innocent. Because it's such a shoddy job, and again, we found some rags. Okay, sounds very interesting. Was they filled with blood because she apparently cleaned the crime scene? Nope, they were clean. But they found them 28 hours later.
Oh, so they found clean rags.
Yeah,
that she dumped in a McDonald's wastebasket that wasn't emptied in 28 hours. Even Flock said she worked for McDonald's in 5 months. Bull crap.
Yeah. Those trash cans are emptied because if you don't, there are flies everywhere.
Yeah, and McDonald's has some rule that whenever there's downtime, you clean the shit.
Yeah.
Because
you always
customers want fresh recycling bins.
Yeah. Do we have anything more fun to discuss today?
Yeah. No more court cases, no more death, no more stupidity. Let's get into the fun stuff.
Yeah. Let's see here. I have no idea, but I was what this is, but I was
That's so messed up.
oh,
that's fun.
I like that.
Wait,
Ferrari. Yeah,
I can fix her. Anything wrong with her?
Wait, she's a
She's on with Crisimera a lot.
Okay, but let's see what she has to say about Ferrari and Saab.
Oh, but not me. I only like boys with Datsuns and Saabs.
Oh, I like her.
Datsun?
Can you even buy a Datsun anymore?
Not.
I
really.
have no idea.
I mean, I have a Nissan, but not a Datsun.
Yeah, but Nissan was the name of the Datsun sold in Europe.
Oh, did they sell it? I thought they just changed their name.
Yeah, it's
Datsun was the
when they sold Nissans in Europe, it was Datsuns. I have a friend who collects vintage Datsuns.
Okay, they had a relaunch in 2022, apparently.
Really?
Datsun.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Nissan. But...
Yeah, and Saab was defunct in 2014, I think, after GM ruined that car brand.
Yeah, I won't buy a GM.
You also have Saab? They were Swedish, weren't they?
Yeah, and I drive a Saab, a 2003
but they made
Saab
planes,
9.5. What?
Didn't they make planes?
Yep.
Different company, but still same name.
Yeah. So and they also make some other war, and they make lorries, and that. So there are different Saab companies. They had to break up in the 70s because they were getting too big, because they were in the military, car, lorries, and ships.
They weren't big enough to keep GM from ruining them.
No, Well, only the car company. The other companies are still alive today.
That's cool.
Yeah, Scania is Saab trucks. That
Was it
fun.
like Europe monopoly laws or
No, Swedish monopoly laws.
Swedish? Oh, okay. Interesting.
This was before we entered
Yeah.
the European Union, and that was
When was that?
When Sweden entered the EU,
Or just like when did the EU start?
it started in 72.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
born in '90, so don't.
Well, the precursor was the Steel and Coal Union that after the Second World War, when they had to control. Okay, we really need Germany to not make a huge military again.
Yeah, we're only now letting Japan do it.
Yeah, twice now they have done. Yeah,
And the funny thing is, now it's Germany who runs the EU. They got the president, and they has the most power. So
yeah.
But since Angela went on pension, they've been quiet, and when Germany is quiet for too long.
Yeah, it's always troubling.
America needs to reinstate the draft.
Nevs bought the brand, but to this day they haven't produced any cars. They bought the brand from the defunct estate, so to speak.
Is that's a Chinese company, right?
Yeah, I think so. Nevs. I have to check.
That's what they bought. Chinese. They bought Volvo too, didn't they?
Yeah, I believe
Nevs
so.
is an electric car manufacturing which acquired the assets of Saab Automobile from a bankruptcy estate in 2012. And still, but they are very funded by the Chinese and Swedish government, but still no cars. Dun dun dun.
Wait, y'all are paying them to not produce cars?
No, we're paying them to make fuel-efficient cars and electric cars. It takes a bit.
Yeah, they are still in a development phase, according to themselves. And
if nobody has one, they're very efficient.
Yeah, they're very efficient because if you buy a Nevs, you have to ride a bike. Because...
I think they're. I've noticed a lot of homeless people now are riding electric bikes. I think they're giving them away in America.
Yeah.
I don't have proof of that, but I'm like, man, that's a nice bike.
Yeah, they have started to do that over here in Sweden as well, giving away. People are renewing. Well, not renewing, but they buy a new electric bicycle every 3-4 years because there's a newer model, and then they give it the old one to charity because nobody buys an old electric bicycle
because the batteries aren't any good, right?
Yeah,
the batteries don't last.
Batteries cost as much as a vehicle.
Yeah,
we started doing it back when I was in city council. They give it to people who might have a bit of a BMI problem. So we gave them an electric bike so they could start exercising. So if you go around town, you will see a lot of electric bikes standing out front of houses with this little sign on. So we know we pay a company to keep them in working order, and they have no miles on them because it's all well and good and to say, we're giving you a bike that costs $2,000. You should get some exercise. Sure.
How does an electric
if they didn't do it before they got the bike, they're not going to do it when they have the bike.
Is it just easier to pedal, or?
It's because you can ride when you ride uphill and stuff like that, and even on the flat road, you can go up to 30 kilometers an hour.
I see. So it's faster.
Yeah, electric bikes. But since it was given to them, they don't use it.
No.
Yeah. They don't.
And no one goes around and say, "Oh, we gave you a bike. Let's look at the
Let's go check your
pedometer and see how much you have ridden it." Oh, we're going to take it back. No, we just pay the company because now they have it.
Yeah. How does the homeless charge an e-bike? Well, there are in cities there are
Not at home.
places where you can charge.
In
Well,
America,
there
we
are
get
boxes
bikes.
outside.
We have DUI bikes. If you guys have
Oh,
BMI
God,
bikes,
yeah.
we have DUI bikes. So
Yeah, you know when you
get
see somebody on a
DUI.
bike, they probably have a DUI. We see
Yeah.
that a lot in Mesa.
Well, we
Yeah.
have regulations in place on how a bike is supposed to look and function, so that went away quite fast with modifying your bike, and so that went away.
We all used to make fun of if you saw one of your friends riding a bike when you were 18, 20 years old. We always said, "Oh, you spill beer on your driver's license because no one rode a bike." No, just getting some exercise. Yeah. You got caught drinking.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
when you live in a partly rural area, you always know the beer runs, the places
Yeah.
you go when you. I would never drink and drive because that's one of the things But if I might in my life have done it, I knew a few routes you can take where police never came in on a Saturday night. And when I stopped drinking, and every time I went to town with my friends and drove my car, I got stopped every weekend.
Well, in my county where I grew up, the police closed down for the weekend and were only open during office hours. So that kind of
What?
Yeah. So the closest police
Wait a
were like
second.
an hour away in the big city. Those were
No
open.
wonder
but in
Germany doesn't have a hard time conquering Europe. I mean, y'all are shutting down the police, man. That's crazy. On the weekend,
Well,
that's when all the action happens.
Well, as Americans, can we really talk about that since 2020?
What?
I mean, defunding the police and everything.
Oh, I don't know what they're doing, man. I'm just saying it's
I know.
it's when all the action happens. That's when we have all the domestic calls and
Domestic squabbles.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
but
never
you can
forget.
phone. Yeah, you can phone it in up there, but it takes the cops an hour to get to you. So it became more or less of a we will handle it ourselves. Oh, you're putting damage
is
to
so
your wife.
crazy.
Let's have a discussion back here.
No, I didn't
drove
punch
through Sweden.
you. I hit you. There's a difference.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
Amber Heard says.
Who'd you hit?
That's
No,
the Amber
that's
Heard
what
story.
Amber Heard said about Johnny Depp. I didn't hit you.
I didn't punch you. I hit you.
It was
No,
a closed fist, so it doesn't count.
I remember back when I was young. It was kind of it was the good old days. We had the town bully. He was called Steelwool. Don't ask me why.
Well, hold on. What? Stainless steel bull?
No, Steen is his first name. It means stone, but Steelwool was his nickname. So
You had one town bully, and his name
no,
was
but he
Steelwool.
was the one. Everyone he was the one who beat me up the first time.
Like
he
this is
knocked
what
my-
our nursery rhymes are about. This is the most. Can we go? I want to go to Europe. You guys are awesome. Do you have like candy cane like streets?
No,
Candy
they're
line
not safe to
streets?
drive on, so we had to take them away.
Mm.
But this guy, he always got in trouble because he was in fights all the time, and he wasn't afraid to swing at the police. So once he was over on a small island where you have to cross 2 bridges to come back to where we live, where the main city is and where the holding cells are, and we had what's called the test of manhood. Was go to this island, take a trip around the bar. It was a round bar in the middle of the room. If you made it around without getting punched, you were a man, because they were crazy over there. But this guy, he was over there fighting, and the police came, and then they took him back, and he was, can't I get out because I really want to go into town. I want to meet my friends. Said, well, you can pay the price. Let's do it. They took him out under a bridge where no one comes, just beat him up, drove him and put him next to the nearest bar, and said, now you behave. 2 hours later, the back picked him up again, but he got beaten shitless. And he also, I don't want to go to jail. Please beat me. Okay. Then knocked the shit out of him. But he was a good guy.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Like people would pay for that here. I mean,
Yeah.
give them a certain kind of excitement, but
We can't do it anymore. Back then, we had some other. you know, the little whippersnapper who wanna be the big guy and fight everyone. So they were always getting in trouble. And once we were beating them up outside of the train station, and the police came by, stopped, and we were, oh shit, because we might have been a few guys beating two guys. And they said, oh, stop it. Oh, it's those. Take them behind this building because there's no cameras over there. Okay. They didn't like them either. They were stupid.
Do y'all know what a pinata is? Because that's what this sounds like.
Yeah, but I was back. But it was before we used guns and knives, so fights were
good old days.
More fun. Yeah.
Yeah. That back when fights ended, you had a beer.
Yeah.
And everything. Okay, we beat the shit out of each other, and now we're good. That really doesn't happen anymore, sadly.
No, it started in. We had a guy who saw American History X and thought that looks like a good way to end a fight, and because he was always getting into fights, and he had a little bit of the nose candy problem too. So, so people thought, well, I'll just carry a knife, so then I could
stop it,
keep him away. So yeah,
one thing leads to another, and yeah.
Mads, didn't you move to Esbjerg? That's one of the worst places in Denmark for fights. It's all the fishermen. They go crazy.
Well, it's lonely out there on the seas.
Yeah, but when they get back, they get drunk and they can. I kid you not. I was on a military base right outside of that town, and it's the big town where all the ferries from England and stuff came in, and a big shipping harbor. Go into that town and come out alive. That's amazing, because I have a slight accent, and in Denmark you can hear when people live more than 5 kilometers away from you, because we have a million accents between 5 million people. So that's everyone got beaten up.
Yeah. Normally, with neighboring towns in the county where I grew up, there were fights between us until someone from a bigger town came in. Then it was okay, outsider. Kind of reminds me when we had a school trip when not our high school, but when we were 16, we stopped one school to go to the next level. So we had a school trip to Bornholm, which is a Danish island that should be Swedish. And
well, they almost speak Swedish, so
yeah, they almost speak Swedish there. And Denmark at the time, I don't if you still have it, the drinking age of 16. And so we went there at a bunch of rural Swedish boys and girls age 16. That was interesting. And somehow class from Stockholm also went there at the same time. And we guys thought, oh, great, new girls. This will be interesting. And the girls from Stockholm, oh, new boys. So we had fun. And the boys from Stockholm kind of had the idea, oh, new girls. And we said, no, not for you.
Awesome.
Because we were, there was more of us, and we were used to actual fighting. So, yeah, that was
so cool.
I can tell you this is a folder you can help your teenager with how to set limits for going to parties, because some of us have a tendency to drink. It's an older one from 2011. Young people above 16 should not drink more than 5 beers in one party. So only 5 beers a party when you're 16, and you should. It would be best if you don't smoke, do weed, or other things. It's okay.
Those are Danish beers.
Yeah, it's kind of like this one. What's this? That's a It's a 4.6. That's the normal one. American beers are weaker.
Yeah, but
So,
in Denmark you also have the elephant beer.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
Swedish beer.
No,
We
it's
don't drink
Danish.
What about?
Swedes drink that Danish beer because it's 11.2%. I think. Yeah.
It's only 7.2.
Then there is a stronger one, or used to be at
Master?
least.
You have Master Brew. That's 10.5%.
Okay,
That's
10.5.
that's 21 APV or what you call it in the US.
So it's
You-
like 3 beers.
It's almost a wine,
Mm.
and it tastes really bad.
Okay,
that's
giraffe
not
is the 10 to 11 ones. Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah, but elephant beer. Yeah, it's really nasty. It's really nasty, but you get drunk quite cheap. And at one point in your life, that's what you go for. Now I, not today, but next Friday on Chatfaced for okay, bye, Sal. I guess
Irish goodbye.
Irish goodbye. Yeah. So
He
next
is
Friday on
Irish.
Chatfaced for charity for the Zachariah Anderson Defense Fund, you can get me drunk if you pay $100 to the Zachariah Anderson Gives and Go, and some money to me as well, either through PayPal or through Super Chats. That doesn't really matter. And it's not important for me to get pissed. That's just entertainment. The important thing is to get Zachariah Anderson the funds he needs for his appeal. So, and it $1, $2, $5, $10, $20 to that Gives and Go. Don't give anything you don't have, but every dollar to that fund is a dollar of hope for Zachariah Anderson. So next Friday. What are you having going on, Expert, on the next few?
I got 2 more streams tonight.
You have 2 more streams tonight.
Yeah, this is my second one. I missed one today, so yeah, I've got a total of 5, I think, today. So just getting a little warmed up, man. A little warmed up. Gonna go Jessica Reloaded and Waifu Cron, Wi-Fi Chrome. I always mess up her thing. And then Friday Night Live's got a surprise guest coming in. It's funny when you have your own stream and you don't even set it up. That's where I'm at right now. I need something, but I don't have it. That's for sure.
Can't you just get the white rabbit and give you a slap in the back of the head and said, pull yourself together, man?
Oh, she'll slap me, but not if it's going to be productive.
Yeah,
not a productive one. Not a productive one. But yeah, that's it, man. That's it. But this is great, man. Listen, it's so cool. Thank you, one, for having me on. It's like I love hearing about where you're all from and your history and everything. It's like this is what I love about YouTube. And it's perfect timing because I just saw that Odinist thing. And I was like, the first thing that hit me was like, really, is this gonna I don't know what's gonna come out of that.
Yeah,
but it's
I mean, I can't imagine any court not approving they call it a frank hearing on it, because if 10% of it holds up then they might even say, okay, you have the wrong guy. Because this 5'4" spherical guy doing all that is alleged by the state, leaving no DNA, no fingerprints, no nothing. The only thing that actually links him is that bullet, and that bullet, the toolmark guy couldn't conclusively say it's from his gun.
And it's not even a spent bullet, it wasn't fired. It was like it was in the chamber and then it was racked. So
yeah,
it's I mean, I doubt there would be any type of marking on there to be able to identify it at all, because for like marking on there's just two pieces of metal, right? And never mind my graphics on how they go into each other, but you have to have there'd have to be some sort of scratch or something on there. And that's not how firearms work if they're to load and operate properly. It has to be a smooth surface. So I don't know. It's weird. And I think it's now with this, it's going to, you're going to see this stuff explode. It's going to be all over the tubes. And,
and there will be a lot of crime tubers and law tubers. Okay, we might have been wrong on this. And for especially a handful of crime tubes, the true crime podcast and stuff like that, they have some interesting, because they have to backpedal quite a bit on this case after this, if they even acknowledge it.
Yeah, but they won't.
They won't. But they can
they'll just blame somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean,
or they just ignore it and move on to the next case, and which is something I don't know how to do, because I need to follow a case from start to finish. For instance, the Dinkins case, what do I believe he did it? Yes. Do I believe the prosecution proved it? No. Do I believe that the judge, his motivations for his verdict was left a bit of appellate issues, in my opinion. But you never know. And the sentencing will be October 11th. And I have people who have been really mad at me for in my chats for those streams, but they still acknowledge, thank you for at least covering it all the way through, because everybody else left it. They stopped caring after the trial ended, and the judge said, I will be back as soon as possible. And then all the crime tubers just left it. And I think that's so disrespectful for the audience.
Well, true crime is a unique group, and they're definitely on a algorithm basis, people. If you want, I mean, there's still people talking about, all they do is talk about Summer Wells, and that was 2 years ago. And you go to their channels, man, they've got views like you wouldn't believe. And it's just, they're sitting there talking about names of people who, Joe Bob and Shani Frank, and you're like, who are these people? But I'm surprised Delphi doesn't have a bunch of people haven't gone there and tried to retrace the scene already.
Yeah, because in the memo, they have really pointed it out. This is what the state alleged happened with their theory of one guy and one guy alone. And it is a lot of points that they have to cover just in the time frame of 1 hour and 17 minutes. That's the only time frame.
If you really want to cover Delphi, I'm not going to tell you how you should do it, but I think a very interesting thing would be to get somebody who is convinced, or somebody who can tell you all this stuff like it's factual, and it's like, oh yeah, this dude did it. I mean, because there's a lot of people out there like it. Problem is trying to find somebody like that would also be willing to talk and see both sides.
Yeah,
that's such an awesome sport coat. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh,
that is just so cool.
It's finally Friday. I'm dressing casual.
The House of Cards.
Yeah, just gambling cards. Drunk me got sold me for as a gift, and yeah. Drunk me likes to.
Oh, Nick, you sound like a San Diego wine mom.
I'm here watching the TV channel, the shopping network and I'm buying stuff, and here I'm drinking directly from the box. No, but next week I'm having the fourth part series about the Delphi case with Mo, because Mo followed this from the very start, because she lives 2 hours from where it happened.
Oh, that's crazy.
And she's mad as hell that why haven't we found out anything about this until now? Why have the prosecution not? Because some of the things they sent to the defense when they found out, oh, you have investigated. Whoopsie, we better send you the discovery. 6 years later, they are sending them things that they found out the days after they found the girls. 6 years.
Yeah, it's so weird. And it was such, by the time I got to it, it was such a rabbit hole of stuff. I'm like, man, I don't know how you can. And that's my whole thing with on true crimes. Anything true crime is you got to stay with the facts, and but people don't want to hear that. Now, what I think is cool if you can follow something, and see, that's the problem with this. It's 6 years, right? So you have this horrendous thing that happens. You cover it then. How do you make it to the trial?
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost impossible to keep up with it all.
Especially if you feel, oh, this gave my channel a massive bump. I need to write it. I need to feed it every day. And then you, as you say, the rabbit hole looms, and you begin to say, well, oh, I can cover this Odin-angle and really prove they are the bad guys, and I can cover all these things. And that's why I like to read the search warrants, the affidavits and stuff like that, or watch the hearings and the trials, covering everything that's put on Law and Crim or in newspapers. It's just spun to sell papers.
Yeah.
So but it's really easy to we have talked about this a few times. Drama sells.
Yeah.
But if you become a drama channel, you need drama all the time, because the crowd you attract are the ones who want to have screaming fights in the comment section.
Yeah. And for me, if I disagree, I try to respect my audience to know if we disagree, it's okay. I will explain my point of view. The chat will explain their point of view, and then we move on, because we are still watching the same trial. The reason I do this, first, I have this. I'm trained in evidence evaluation. I've done all this. Now I'm trying to use my experience from European law into American law, and that's a bit different, but it still have the same foundations. How to evaluate evidence, how to evaluate a witness statement, and stuff like that. So that is why I try to explain, and so me and the audience teach each other about American law, because there are some people in the chat that knows more than me, and that's perfectly okay. I don't have any, what do you call it? I don't mind. I don't mind being wrong, because that means I learn. Just as long as you don't make up stuff. For instance, don't say, so your opinion is. Oh, fuck no. You didn't go there. That's a trigger point for me. So your opinion is blah, 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 blah. If I haven't said it, it's not my opinion. We can read between the lines. No, you're imagining things, you little prick. And
if people want to read between the lines, these are the lines you can read between.
Love it.
Oh, yeah, you must have seen that before, expert.
Oh, yeah.
Read between the lines.
Oh, yeah.
My brother taught my kids to do that when they were like 2 and 4 years old. So.
Oh, it's fun teaching kids stupid things, and it's even more fun when some of my relatives are from Serbia, and teach us some Swedish words. Okay. That can be hilarious because they do the same to me. Hey, how do I order a beer in Serbia? And then they say something, and I go up to the bar and say that, and the bartender just stares at me and then laughs, and then, oh, you motherfucker.
That's a good old one. The first things we asked when I was a soldier in Bosnia, they speak the same language. It was koliko kosta kurva, koliko kosta dupe, koliko kosta. I can't remember tits, but how much is
Gucci and tits?
Receptacle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much for entering your private parts, more or less?
Yeah. That's the first thing we
You
were
guys are
taught.
gonna have to teach that later. You guys need to have a language.
Yeah.
That's the worst part about living where we live. We need a lot of languages.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Like
you can get by with one.
See, well, I mean, there's people up in the Northeast. They speak something weird. I'm down in the South, so we got our own dialect, and then on the Midwest, it's something else too. I don't know. People are. We all need a translator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you speak slow? But I'm speaking in English. Yeah, but slower, please.
Yeah.
What I love is when you type and you use words that you were actually taught. See, I have a hard time pronouncing things, and my big old lips get in the way of my words. And so, but I can type out big words, and then watching people trying to read them, I'm like, oh, wait a second. Yeah, that's me that wrote that. So I'm like, sorry.
Who hacked your account?
You need to simplify things.
Yeah, but
anyway.
it's always nice when people believe you're dumb and you can surprise them. It's better than the opposite, where they believe you're smart and then you surprise them.
Well, the dialect from where I grew up is we remove most of the consonants when we speak, so it sounds a bit dim. But then we have the Norwegian accent to it, so it's charming and dim.
Well, that's
so
cool.
Yeah, and yeah.
So let me ask you, if I were to like send you a message, do you guys is it harder for you to get our like if we shorten the word, like say instead of I am, I'll put I'm, or
no, we watch American television and we're taught all the abbreviations and stuff like that. If it's technical language, it's different, but if it's just normal stuff, we learn that we learn Oxford English in school, but they use the same I'm and I'll and stuff like that.
Okay, that makes it a lot easier than for me.
Yeah. So we learn the Oxford English, and then we watch American TV shows. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're welcome. And most of my American English is from 80s shows, and sadly, most of those are the Cosby Show. I can't really reference to that one anymore and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, you can. That guy wore awesome sweaters. You ever notice that?
And
Those
like
are awesome looking
cups, I
sweaters.
learned yesterday.
I haven't seen that show in decades, so I don't really remember.
They're bright and
yeah, they were
cool.
Always bright colors, and I always thought working with the parts he worked with, I hope he didn't have, because that would get swampy in the end of the day. It can hold some liquid. That's
Dr.
the only thing. Yeah, and I didn't get why he had a medical facility in his basement. That can't be sanitary.
Well,
A dentist office or medical office, or the most you can get out of in Sweden, you can have a hair salon in your house. But that's more or less it. Or a tattoo
but it still have to be closed off from the rest of the house.
Yeah.
Or else you
yeah,
can't
it's weird
deduct taxes for
how
it.
they are about hair. We're the same
Okay.
way. In Tennessee, you used to not be able to have a fish tank in a barbershop up until just a couple of years ago. I thought,
Really?
well, that's something.
Why?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Sounds
The-
fishy.
but some laws are originates from somewhere or some event. So at some point in Tennessee, something happened in a barber shop with a fish tank. But what it is, your guess is as good as mine. One of the weird U.S. laws that some are still in effect. Sometimes I go into that page and see what happens about U.S. weird laws. Something about horse. You can't eat ice cream on a.
Oh yeah, I always see that one. Like, you can't eat ice cream on the back of a horse on Sundays.
Yeah, and that's.
But just to be fair, because we always make fun of your stupid laws. In France, it's illegal to name your pig Napoleon.
That's awesome.
If you drive a dirty car in Chelyabinsk in Russia, you can get a fine of $62. In Milan, it's legally required to smile at all times, except at funerals or hospital visits. It's illegal to die in the House of Parliament in England. So
Sounds like a
just stay
good
there
law.
if you're sick, because you
Mhm.
can't die. I think they have some. They move it out and write a different time of death. Heels are banned in certain Greek archaeology sites, including the Acropolis. Between 3:29 p.m. and 6:47 p.m., people in Madrid cannot ask one another what time it is. How do you know what time it is then? Men wearing a skirt in public in Italy can be arrested.
Can or can't?
Can.
Oh.
In Denmark,
For
if a
wearing a
person
skirt?
this isn't real. In Denmark, if a person finds a lost child, they can claim the child as their own if the parent doesn't turn up within 2 hours. No,
Yeah, that
because
sounds about like y'all. That sounds exactly like y'all.
we'll just give it to them and say it's yours now. We don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's illegal to flag down a taxi in England if you have the plague.
Well, the plague is it's a nasty thing.
Yeah, and
Keeps coming back.
It's illegal to flag. Any man carrying onions in Paris must be given the right of way on streets. During Oktoberfest, no person is ever legally drunk, no matter how much alcohol they have consumed.
That's awesome.
Fedorowski, is this right? If you challenge a man to a fist fight to the death in Norway, he must accept or pay the penalty of 4 deer. That sounds Norwegian. They could do that.
In Sweden, it's legal to be a prostitute provided you do not give customers enjoyment. It's illegal to paint your house without first getting a license. If you sell a flag that has anything painted or written on it, you will be fined. Yeah, it's technically illegal to desecrate the flag in Sweden, but we don't care. I'm
just curious about you. You can't be satisfied from a prostitute.
I don't. Yeah.
Sound like y'all have. I don't seem like you're doing it right.
Well, then it's not technically prostitution if you don't give enjoyment.
I'm
gonna use that. I'm gonna see how that one flies.
Oh, I like this one. I didn't know we had this. If Øresund freezes over and Swedes walks across to Denmark, Danes are allowed to hit him with a stick. Yeah, that's how they get us every time. They cheat.
We didn't cheat. We just used the ice.
And it's actually illegal to make a restaurant customer pay for a glass of water. except if you put something in it, an ice cube or a slice of lime. But you have to do that, or else you can't charge for it. It's the same because if you buy a pack of cigarettes in a bar, they have to open it for you because they demand more than there's a tax stamp on it, and they demand 1/3 extra. So they have to open it. So they made a service for you that you get that you are paying for, or else they would have to sell it at the rate that's on the tax stamp. It's a stupid rule, but so if you buy a pack of cigarettes, it will always be open.
Y'all charge for water?
Yeah.
That's so wild, man. And you have cigarettes in bars.
Yeah,
Well,
if
not
it's
anymore.
under a certain size, I can't remember the size of the bar, but if
I
it's
thought you
under
were
a
talking
certain
about like the
size,
cigar or whatever, a certain size. I was like, oh, like
the smoke room has to be separated from the bar itself.
yeah, but in Denmark you can, if you have a værtshus and it's small enough, you can smoke at in the entire restaurant, no problem. Normally they don't serve food in places. You can't serve food and smoke.
Yeah. And in Sweden, you can't serve alcohol only. You have to serve it with food. And
that's how we are here. There's
and that's how
y'all ever had a sorry.
Yeah, that's how the one herring sandwich in Sweden, because that one was passed around because you ordered beer and a shot and a herring sandwich, and then you left the herring sandwich on the table. It went back, and then it was resold. So they served technically they served food, but nobody ate the herring sandwich. So that could be passed around a whole day.
But did you have to sell food with alcohol?
Yeah.
Like before you could have alcohol, you had to have food too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So they sold that with the herring sandwich.
Here it's they have to serve food like in a bar. So I've been to places that have Hot Pockets. I guess y'all don't have pizza Hot Pockets, do you?
No, not really.
It's a microwave food. Baker would love it. Baker would love it. It's so American. You'd look at it, you'd be like, oh my gosh, what are they doing to the bread?
No, it's okay because it's probably some really, really bad bread. So just nuke it. It's not my problem. And but I think when I was in Delaware, we tried some hot pockets. We tried my kids tried some of the Pop-Tarts too. So they like that.
Pop-Tarts.
That's just boring. Oh, and yeah, in Denmark you need to have your headlights on every time you drive a car because else we can't determine if your car is parked or not. Germans always forget that. In Denmark you have your lights on all the time on your car, or else you'll get fined.
What if you park with your lights on?
But you turn your lights off when you leave your car, or else your battery is dead when you come out.
Yeah, and in Sweden it's dependent on the weather. You're not obligated to have the lights on the daytime, but if it's foggy or rainy, then you have to.
Yeah, you're supposed to here too. But
yeah,
I mean, I don't know. Seems
I don't know if France have yellow headlights are normally fog lights. It doesn't work, but you try to do it.
Yeah, they suck. I don't know why they're fog lights.
Yeah.
I think the new regulations in Sweden is that you can't have yellow lights as headlights, only as fog lights.
Yeah, you're not allowed to have and it's the same with LEDs. You can't just if your car is born with old-fashioned, you can't just put in an LED bulb because the light diffuses a different way and stuff like that. And you have to get. We call it synet, where you have it checked every 2 years and make sure it's in a working order. And you have to have it checked there with those lights in to make sure it's working properly.
Isn't it amazing we've ever made it with all these things we didn't know we needed?
When I was a kid, the first time we went out flying, all 4 of us children were sleeping in the back of a big Master 929. It was a car almost as big as a house. and my mom and dad was in the front seat smoking with the windows up because we could get draft in the back and get a cold. You don't want to do that when you're going flying. Nowadays, you have to tie your children in with 37 different chairs and seats and everything. And I'm thinking, oh my God, how did we become so weak? I crashed my car once through because there was ice on the road. I just slipped right through a roundabout, dropped out over a small, not a cliff, but in a ditch, knocked over a tree. We were 4 guys in the car. The only one who got hurt was the one who put his hand on the dash because he hurt his hand a little bit. They were fine. They went on to get drunk, and I had to stand and wait for the police. But that was an old shitty car. I had a car my first car was a year older than me. But you have all these rules and regulations. I'm just thinking, how did the human race live for? It's 20,000 years now. We've been around. We're weak people.
But I think Elon Musk said that all the seatbelts and stuff within modern cars, there are so many airbags around you that the seatbelt actually can be a hinder
I believe
in an accident. So there might be once every maybe the newest cars might not even have seatbelts in them. And I do believe it is when we're talking about illegal stuff, you're not allowed to do the put your foot up if you're in the passenger seat. You're not allowed to put your foot up on the dashboard.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that anyway.
No, because if you're in a car crash and the airbag, your legs are in your face.
Yeah, I hate it when I go on a motorway and see. It's always some girl sitting with her smelly feet, either out the window or on the dashboard. I'm just.
Man, you got a great sense of smell.
And the airbag, it's gonna kick your ass.
Oh yeah, it's gonna. Those things are violent. Hey guys, I hate to do this, but I have to jump off.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump off. It's 2 a.m. So.
It's 2 a.m. time. Oh man.
Yeah. And in an hour, I'm going to be in my car, so I have to prepare for that. So, So this is a good time for ending this finally Friday casual stream. Just
thanks so much for
mopping around and
thank you for having me on, Nick. And
no worries.
We'll see you around.
Yeah, see you all around. And everybody in the chat, I'm be sending you over to Legal Vices, who are talking about mysterious numbers. Yeah, some radio stuff. So I'm sending you all over there. Not you on Rumble, because I can't redirect you there. But thank you all. Have a nice continuous day. And
bye.
Bye. All right. Thank you all for showing up. And tomorrow it's Yodi Day at noon Eastern time, 6 p.m. Swedish time. Hopefully I can make it, but I'm not sure I can. And, thank you all. See you around. Bye-bye.